And then life shook me when he took his life away. And when that happened, I had to sit with myself for a long time to understand what's happening. So eating habits, mental health became more of like numbing mechanism. And I joined the gym because that was the place where I felt like I didn't have to be anything but just let go. I also did a lot of drugs. And so I went to AA and I realized there was just a disconnect. I didn't know where my higher power was. So I started singing. It's called kirtan. And it's like a direct connection to the divine, to something greater than myself.
As I progressed, bodybuilding became something that I was infatuated with, and just the beauty of the aesthetic look of perfection, right? And how that relates to modeling on a stage.
And a lot of people sit with their thoughts instead of actually acting it out, because making mistakes is part of becoming who you are. Like, there are no losses, there's only lessons. So every time you do make a mistake, it actually makes you stronger. And because you learn from it. And the whole trick is just don't make the same mistake twice. I'm Manning Sumner. I've lived my life by one motto: no days off. No days off is never taking a day off on you. It's a commitment to becoming your best self. Get ready to be inspired to do the same. This is the Big Dawgs with Manning Sumner. So, ladies, you're on the Big Dawgs.
Yes.
Welcome. You're all big dogs as far as I'm concerned. So, so real fast, I'm gonna show you how all this came together. So, you kept popping up on my timeline.
That's good.
Like all the time. But like,
that's great.
But it was kind of weird though. At the same time, it's like, who is this chick keep popping up on that? You know what I mean? It was like very weird. And I would, I don't really scroll that much on Instagram. So I was just kind of, okay. I watched a couple of your videos, but when I watched a couple of your videos, I was like, wow, she's good. Like, she's good. She's legit. Like, you talk very well.
Thank you.
You speak very well.
Thank you.
You explain confusing things in an easy way for women to understand. And then you have a very targeted audience, which is the name of the game, and it's very smart. So I was like, you're checking all the boxes. You know what I'm saying? You look good, you're knowledgeable, and then you have you have a niche audience. So I was like, that was kind of cool. But I didn't really think anything of it. Because you have a bunch of followers. I was like, she probably gets a bunch of DMs. I'm just going to leave it alone. Whatever. So I didn't really think anything of it. Then my boy Matt sends me a text. And he's like, yo, you need to hook up with and hook up just meaning like meet. My girl Regine, she's awesome. Y'all two would hit it off, blah, blah, blah. And I thought that was real random because I just met you. But I didn't put two and two together. I had just met her a week before he texted me that. But I didn't even put two and two together because I didn't know who Regine was, right? Yes. I mean, I met you, but I didn't put it together. So then I went online like we all do and we stalked the person. So I'm like, no way.
Yeah, I just met her.
And then, then it gets even weirder. Then I click on your story and you two are dancing together.
Where was I? What?
Well, hold on. You come in because you introduced me to Regine. So it was like.
No, I wasn't invited dancing.
Well, yeah. No. That's on y'all.
We'll take that up later. Listen,
we got
her.
But but isn't that funny though? So then I had that connection. So I see y'all dancing. I'm like, that's weird. I'm like, they know each other, somebody else. Then you make a comment on my gym.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, all right. So I literally was like telling my wife this. I was like, I slid into her DMs and she responded. My wife thinks it's hilarious. And then you responded. And then, now we're all here. So, and then it was crazy because I was already going to do a podcast with you.
Yeah.
I had one set up with you. And then I was just like, what if we just all, because I've done these roundtable ones and they're fun. They're more relaxed. You don't feel like you're in an interview. You feel like more in an open talk. So I just figured, let's bring three badass ladies together. Let's let y'all talk it up. So that's how we got here. Now let's just go around the room and talk a little bit about, just give, like if you had to give a 30-second minute elevator pitch of who you are, go.
All right. I'm Dawn Feinberg. I own Ahana Yoga. We're in the design district. We've been around for 8 years. And I was a professional dancer for a long time. And then I ruptured my Achilles tendon. And I found yoga. I also did a lot of drugs, and I went to AA to get cleaned up. And they kept talking about a higher power, which definitely was Jesus, and I'm Jewish. So there was parts of it that I didn't resonate with. And then I found kirtan, which is, in yoga, it's called bhakti, which is devotion. And we started singing and we sang. And I was like, I found God. And now everything started to make sense. And I was introduced to my singing teachers, and it wrapped around yoga perfectly. And so our yoga studio is based on creative movement, like Ashtanga, Vinyasa, breath flow, but with a really strong spiritual background. So we can help elevate people and get them out of, any type of addiction, be it anything. I'm okay, like with people that drink and stuff like that. You can do whatever you want and come to our yoga studio. But it just helps to have spirituality with a yoga practice. And I see a lot of yoga studios take out that spiritual component because it's more marketable, and we do the opposite.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah,
So
I think that might have been a minute and a half.
You're fine. That was awesome.
I love that.
Dawn. All right, Regine, you're up.
Wow, Dawn.
All right.
Thank
so
you for
my
sharing.
name is Regine
That's
Santa
beautiful.
Maria. I work at a gym. It's called DVC. And it's at a design district. I've been there for over 6 years. It's going to be 6 years. And I am a licensed massage therapist as well. So I focus in Thai massage. And I'm a mother of 2. So background.
Boys, right?
Yes, 2 boys. They're my sunshines. So a little bit about myself when it comes down to where we all kind of relate to each other in this sense. So wellness or sports or all these things have been part of my life since I was young. I suffered from asthma. So the doctors were like, you need to put my mom, telling my mother, you need to put her into any sport that is going to help her breathing. So ideally swimming. And she wanted me to be a model. So she was like, okay, so her health or the way she's going to look. And at that point, I mean, Venezuelans, the way that we are, our culture is like model, right? So at that point, she's like, okay, for her health. So it all started with swimming. So it was part of my lifestyle as then. And as I progressed, bodybuilding became something that I was infatuated with, and just the beauty of the aesthetic look of perfection, right? And how that relates to modeling on a stage. So I was like, oh, I could do that. And then got pregnant, married, competed first before I became a personal trainer. And it was just kind of like, I think I could teach people how to train. I mean, if I can do it, and I'm so like OCD with it. So like when it comes to like, not perfection, but I used to be a perfectionist back then. So for me, it was just like, how can I get, or if I can change myself, how can I help somebody change themselves too? So that became part of my journey, became a personal trainer. And as long as I've known since 2009, I was licensed massage therapist. So that was before training. So it was all within the wellness part of it, right? And I became a personal trainer. It works with life LMT, so licensed massage therapist. And I'm pretty freaking nervous, as you can tell.
It's okay.
I love it.
It's all right. I love it.
You are so good.
Okay, listen.
Aw,
Computer, download, say what you have
It's
to
all right.
say.
It's all right.
that's awesome. But that's
anyways,
true. You know,
yeah,
that's
me.
human.
Remember,
Yeah?
we're not live. So that's one thing to think about.
Okay, good.
We're not live.
What
So
is it?
no, what I mean by that, and I used to do this too when I would shoot these, I'd feel like I just have to keep talking. I have to keep talking.
Right.
Even though I knew we weren't live.
Yeah.
So one thing to remember while we're all here, if you need to just take a deep breath and just stop talking and gather your thoughts, just do it. Because we can edit it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
All right. And you're doing great.
Yeah.
All right. So
Listen, this is the second podcast I've ever
I love it.
done.
Yay.
Okay, so
life is about getting uncomfortable.
yes.
And
yes.
you are constantly challenging your clients, all of y'all,
Yes.
to get uncomfortable.
Yes.
Right.
And then sometimes I think we get so into telling our clients what to do, we forget to sometimes apply
Yeah.
it to ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Hello. My name is Anna Capozzoli. Pam, pam,
So I
pam.
was saying it right. I was saying it right.
Capozzoli.
I was trying to make sure I was the Anna part because you know sometimes people are like, oh no, and whatever.
You
So
know,
I was like,
I wanna
that
say
shifted
it.
for me when I came to the US, right?
Us
Because
Southern boys, we say Anna. Like it's like,
it's Anna.
Like, it's not
Anna, Anna.
Yeah, you don't even understand. My name is Dawn, you
Uh-huh.
know, but I've decided just like a week ago to tell everybody when I get like Starbucks or whatever that it's Dawn.
Oh, wow.
With a little twang on it.
No, that
Dawn.
it's D-O-N because they're like,
Oh,
because I'm
God.
like Dawn, Dawn, and they're like, ¿qué? Huh? Donna? And I'm like, I'm like, fuck it, Dawn.
Yeah, so I let go of that. I was like, whatever fits, I am who I am, it doesn't define me. But thank you for having me.
Of course.
This is a pleasure. I've been seeing your growth, and then we'll talk about that a little bit because I admire deeply how much you've owned up to your vision. Because at the end of the day, this is a vision, it's a legacy, but it is
Literally.
your heart. So
Thank you.
thank you, ladies. So I come from Venezuela and I moved to the US when I was 9. A little bit about my story is I suffered tons about mental health, physical health, everything, depression, suicidal, body dysmorphia, seeking this perfectionist as a little girl, right? We came from the Venezuela, and at the age of 10, I started working because I was growing up with a single mom, older brother. So I upped to this responsibility to become a man, right? To become the head of the house. So from that point on, I started putting more pressure on myself to learning more and neglecting more of me. So eating habits, mental health became more of like numbing mechanism. And I joined the gym because that was the place where I felt like I didn't have to be anything, but just let go, as the place where I was able to feel physical pain and not so much mental pain. So into 14 years old, I even said my age was like 16 because you weren't allowed to work out at 14. So I was like, yeah, I am older. We became friends with the owner and I started lifting weights. From that point on, I started having a lot of seizures, I was fainting like 5 to 10 times a day.
Oh my God.
My period was gone. I had tons of health issues, and
This
every
was here in
doctor
Venezuela? Here.
So
In Miami?
in Miami.
Okay.
So every doctor was like, "Oh, we just got to put you on medication." And I used to tell my mom, huge believer, not to take anything. I believe we're all medicine. And she's like, "No, you have to. They're saying this." I'm like, "No, but they don't even know what it is. They've done so many studies and they don't know why I'm having seizures." And then the more I questioned, because I was always a curious child, which got me in a ton of trouble, so much trouble. I started doing my research and I was like, okay, nobody's asking me about food. And I literally hate food. Backstory, in Venezuela, everyone wants you to be Miss Universe, right? So I was in an academy of modeling when I was 3 years old. I was on a diet since I was 3 years old. I learned how to walk in heels before walking in shoes. And
You too?
No.
she went to swimming.
I was swimming.
Okay. All right.
They didn't put me in sports. They put me in academies.
We had another yoga instructor on here,
Yeah,
Vanessa, that
was Miss Venezuela.
Miss Venezuela,
Yeah.
but she said like she had to be. Like
Yeah,
it was like
you had to be. There
it
was
was
no
like,
option.
There was no option.
They even tell you when you're a kid, they're like, okay, you gotta get your nose done when you hit 18. You
What?
gotta do your boobs.
Wow.
You gotta fix yourself because you're not okay. Basically,
It's
right?
sad too
Your
because
presence. This is
It's super
Venezuelan
sad.
women are beautiful.
They're gorgeous, and
So it's weird. You're like fixing something that's not wrong.
correct. And to an who standards, right? So from that point, my mindset as a child, you don't comprehend. But my mom kept telling me, don't eat this, you're gonna gain weight. Don't eat this, you're gonna be fat. So immediately, as a child that my dad didn't want me, right? I was very neglected. I'm like, I have to prove my worth. Like, mom, like I need her to love me. So when I would see food, I'm like, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. All of a sudden, I'm having severe health issues because I'm not even nourishing my body. So hit 18 years old, I get married at 18, and I see this whole bodybuilding world. At that point, I'm already doing hair and makeup. That was like kind of like my first business. I'm doing hair and makeup, whatever. I get married and I see everybody just so fit. I went to a bodybuilding show, had no idea what was bodybuilding, ever knew what was bodybuilding. And I go in there, I'm like, oh my God, these women, like what? And I'm like, I'm like Google Gaga everywhere. I'm like, just women. Like, man, whatever. I'm like, wow, you girls look amazing. And they look at me like I'm freaking weird, right? Because I love beauty, you know? Like, I was in a culture of beauty, but I admire beauty because I knew it took so much deeper into what you see outside. Makeup. You're there to put a lipstick on to feel good. A lipstick to just feel good, because we can't find that inner work, right? We don't know how to tap into that feeling for ourselves. We weren't taught that, right? We're taught to seek outside so we can feel worthy. We can feel happy or love. So everywhere that I would do what I was doing, working, I'm like, I'm looking outside for all these factors. Maybe I should just start competing. I'm already training. I started doing my own diet. I had a friend that was competing. She was becoming a pro. I'm like, what do you do? She's like, well, you got to eat chicken. I'm like, chicken? Like, I don't want to eat chicken. I used to boil my food. I used to blend it all together because I hated food. Well, oh my God, it was disgusting. I don't know how I did it. Looking back at my life, I'm like, she was nice. I'm never doing that again, you know? Learn. But all of that, and to like, it's a very long story, which thank you so much for holding space, led me to where I am today, because I had to learn and seek help for myself. I couldn't afford a therapist. I couldn't afford medication. I was illegal for 10 years of my life. We worked as immigrants for 10 years. So I just was survival mode, constantly survival mode. For me, it was not like, oh, you need to feel this way. No. Fuck feelings. At that moment, it was, what do I need to do to continue moving forward, to put a plate on my a plate on my table, and then pay the bills. You know, you're thinking about how to pay, how to survive. Yeah. So I'm doing 3 jobs, trying to make sure that my mom doesn't work so much, and that just created more health issues. The industry of bodybuilding, what does it do? You're there to be judged. Yeah, and you're seeking for approval. Yep. And then you think that if you look a certain way, you'll feel worthy. Right. Love. Right?
Also so the screws up y'all's hormones.
Oh my God.
And your metabolism.
So then any coach, then I did my first show. I went to Vegas. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do the bigger show. They're like, no, you need to be known. I'm like, don't know me. It's okay. I'm going to go by myself. I get there, 30 girls, everybody stunning. I'm like super slim. I've always was so skinny. And I was like, okay, we got this, girls. Mind you, I come from modeling. I used to dance also as a kid. So then I'm like owning it. I'm like, okay, this is runway. We got this. All of a sudden I placed 4th and I'm like, what? I didn't even have muscle and I can do this like that? So it opened up a whole journey for me. I became very addicted to the feeling. Yeah. And I started hiring coaches, and they're like, well, for you to look like that, you got to take this. For you to look like that, you got to take this. I'm like, really? Yeah, you got to take that. So then I go into hormones and steroids, and then I'm like, okay. Then the mindfuck became real, you know, because when you're not on the steroids, what happens to your body? You start being like even worse. I was like, oh my God, I got to wear big shirts. I feel fat. I don't see my veins. Like your mindset shifts to something that's so unreal, you know? And then your health. It's not realistic.
It's not realistic at all.
You're putting this whole fake perception of like, oh, this is what healthy looks like. No, you're looking like that for one day. Yeah. I got out of stage and I would gain 20, 30 pounds. In my life, I've gained weight. Okay. So then my body's shifting. I'm feeling all these things. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to go back. So the feeling of not being like that perfect, which I didn't feel perfect. Because let's be honest, you can be in shape, you can be in stage. Did you ever feel like you were ready? No. You never feel like you're ready. You always feel like you need to give more, that there's more time, that you need more. And you go into this toxic cycle with yourself. Yeah. So fast forward, I keep saying back and forth.
It's all right. How long? So let's frame it for a second. Mm-hmm. How long were you in the bodybuilding scene and competing?
10 years.
10 years. Okay. And then when did you make the decision to get out of that?
So closer to me hitting 28, I was 26. I was dating a coach of mine.
So the first husband didn't work out.
No.
So
Not at all.
Just throwing that out there.
No. First husband, we got divorced and I got engaged. Then that didn't work out. And I said, okay, bye-bye. And then I continue. I believe in love, you know, if I feel like once you find it, you know. So by the age of 26, I got a rude awakening, right? Because I was battling this whole life of, I started social media 2019 and I started building a brand online. And I'm like, okay, I was doing at the time hair and makeup in person, and I was training in person. I was already studying nutrition. I studied women's hormones, gut health because of my own illnesses. And the coach that I was having at the time, which we were dating, he had severe mental health issues. So that wasn't quite working. And then life shook me when he took his life away. And when that happened, I had to sit with myself for a long time to understand what's happening. Like what's happening? Like, where is my focus headed? Like where am I with my faith? Where am I with myself? Why am I so trying to save everybody around me? And I'm just lost and I'm like depressed and I'm just going through it. And I'm like, where am I headed? What am I doing all this for? Like, why do I keep fighting? Like, why do I keep rushing life? And what am I doing? What am I running away from? And then life shook me in a way that I needed to go more inwards. And I stopped competing right after that grief. And I started deep healing, which that's another subject we can go into.
Yeah, we'll dig into it.
Yeah.
Dawn, because Anna brings out a lot of stuff that I feel like you've also dealt with as far as deep healing and things like that. Take me back to, you mentioned drugs, because I think that is something that a lot of people can relate to, because I personally went through it with family members and things like that. So talk to us about that transition of going from seeking drugs to now seeking wellness in a way that is almost like, and hear me on this, it's kind of similar. And what I mean by that is like, I find that breath work and cold plunging and sauna and yoga, like it damn near gives you the feeling of drugs, but obviously in a very healthy and wellness way. So talk a little about that transition and like how you, I guess, found yourself through yoga. Would you say that's kind of what happened?
I think it was like, so my parents got divorced when I was really young. And it's funny that like all these connections because you guys are Venezuelan.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell, I can't believe I'm going to say this on this podcast, but you're bringing out some deep stuff, you know? My mother, she passed, but she was Colombian. And I'm putting a lot of pieces together here. So my grandmother, my abuela, she was a prostitute. She was like a high-paid escort at 13. She had my mom at 13. And and her parents died of polio, so she became a prostitute. And my mom brought her value down because, you know, being a mom. Yeah. So they were in Colombia, but she put my mom in a convent in Venezuela and left her there. It was like an expensive convent for aristocracy or something. And so my mom was raised in a convent in Venezuela. Wow. And what's interesting is that she got shipped to Miami when she was 16.
Wow.
And I just found this out because she passed away, and my aunt, my tia Clara, she came and she was like, she's telling me all these stories about my mom that I didn't know. And my mom was stunning. She goes, you know, your mom won Miss New York. And I was like, what? Because my mom was like, never wanted to that pretty, whatever, at least I thought, but she was hot. She was smoking, like, you know, whatever. And they were like, they found out that she was 17 and you had to be 18 to win Miss New York.
Man.
So then, and I was like, damn.
Wait, she won New York at 17 years old?
Yeah.
She had to have been smoking hot. That's kind of scary, actually. So I have a daughter now. That's mind-blowing.
But they couldn't give her the thing or something because she was 17. Like, then they found out she was 17, and so she
was disqualified.
Really, exactly. She was disqualified. But she never told me that story. She kept all of that. But I was put into dance at like 13 by accident. It was kind of an accident. I went with my friend for a play date and I picked up the routine and they were like, you're in. And
what style?
It was like jazz. It was like Dolly Dinkle School of Dance or something, you know, whatever. And can't remember. Dance Exchange. It was called Dance Exchange. And they needed a fourth person. And I was like, you know, Latin. So I was like, no problem. And I got it, you know, and then they were like, you're in. And they just kept roping me in. And I remember one conversation my dance teacher had with me because she became like my mom. She was like, you can either do sports or you can dance. And I was like, okay, I'll dance, you know? So it was just dance the whole way through. And dance for me was like my breath. It was like air because I loved my parents so much and they were split and I was a latchkey kid and my dad ended up getting custody. It's a whole thing. And anyway, so I just danced to live, you know, it was like what I did to live. And then I got scholarships and all this stuff. I got a scholarship to college and then I got picked up in a dance company. But being that I was 13 when I started dancing, my body wasn't like my bone structure had already, I couldn't put my leg up to here and hold it, you know? So everything was kind of broken in me, but I just did it anyway. So then I ruptured my Achilles tendon and I couldn't dance anymore. But in the no. Actually, I finished college. I got picked up in a dance company and then there was like this really hot tattoo artist and
Enter romance.
Yeah. He was so hot. And I was like, oh my God, you're so hot. And I didn't think he like looked at me because he was dating this girl that was like a bartender and she had like black hair. And I was always like this, like always kind of looked like this. And
Looked like this?
Yeah, I wasn't like, you know, that
What does that mean, first of all?
Well, I
look
wasn't like
this.
that goth looking. I was like the surfer look. And
Right, which is hot. So stop.
Beautiful.
But I thought,
Like when you say, but seriously, why do you say it like that?
because, well, if you saw this girl, you would know what I'm talking. Well, she had like a huge tattoo on her back. She had black hair. She was like
So
skinny.
you're
like
saying
this.
you were the opposite of what he was doing.
Yeah, I was
All
like
right,
the
all
sun and she was like
right.
darkness.
I'm just
you know?
make sure you're not. Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also had all these like, you know, you never think you're hot, but like anyway, whatever. He was like,
Insecurity.
he was like, I'll give you a tattoo, and I was like, okay, right here.
But hold on. I want to hear this for a second. You said you never think you're hot, and you said true.
It's true.
Y'all really think that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Like, there's never a moment when you're getting ready and you look in the mirror and you're like,
you know
"Damn, I'm
what?
hot."
I feel
Come
like
on,
it
be honest.
took a lot of
Never?
practice.
Never.
Never.
Really?
Never.
Isn't
You
that
know
a
what
damn
happens?
shame?
You know
Yeah.
what happens?
It's so sad.
There's so much going on the exterior that we forget, right? To just look in the mirror and realize you see yourself every single day. And people are like, do you not look at yourself? I had so much attention since I was little. It made me shy. That's how much, like I would walk in a room and I would just look down, right? Because I had so much like buildup of anxiety just to look up and somebody look at me and I had to say something and I just hide away. And even until now, till I'm 39 years old. And this year, well, you know, this year has been like that boom year for me. Like you walk into a room, you look up, you say hi. If it's far away, you still say hi.
Yeah.
You have presence.
Yeah.
You own it.
Yeah.
So I think, and also experiences too. Like
It's just interesting because, like, obviously
No.
we're our worst critic, right?
yeah,
But there's still, you know, I'll look at myself like I look good. you know what I mean? Like, I still,
Well, man, I
like
think
my whole life, I'm still giving myself props. You know what I mean? Like,
course.
Well,
I've
that's
always.
great.
I think it's different. Like growing up, like I grew up with a Latin mom, you know, and it's like.
And by the way, I want you to finish your story, so I didn't even cut you
Oh,
off.
it's okay.
but
It's okay.
yeah.
I could get back there. But
Yeah.
like my grandmother, my abuela was a prostitute. So it's like, where does that get you? You know what I mean? Not great, you know?
Correct.
Like it's like beauty.
Well, I mean,
The
some
judging?
prostitutes are hot.
Yeah. No,
That's how
she
they-
was
It's kind of a
gorgeous.
job title. Like,
She was gorgeous, but it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
It's like, you
Yeah.
know, it's like people aren't looking at you for your brains or what you have to bring to
Right,
the table.
right.
They're looking at you as a piece of ass.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
you're getting judged immediately.
yeah, and you're getting judged
Categorized.
and I remember my mom. I said to my mom one day, I was like, "Mom, I was walking down the thing and they were screaming and calling and doing all this." And she was like, "You have to start worrying when they stop calling you and calling at you." Like, and I was like, "All right, got it, heard."
Yeah.
So, and I want to say one more thing, like. Do I ever look in the mirror and be like, damn, you look good, girl? No, but I've always known how to work it.
okay, well,
Like-
that's still good.
Like getting into the MTV Music Awards with Eminem and being like, yeah, I'm with him. I've never seen it before in my life. You know what I mean? But I'm
Yeah.
like, you know, never waiting in line.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I can like work it. But it's not one of those things where I look in the mirror and I'm like,
Damn.
you're smoking.
Yeah. I think we wear so many different hats.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the way we grew up, it was always comparison factor, right? For me, exactly. It was always like, you have to look like this. And it's always seeking something, again, that is not who you are, right? So
and that's the world we live in today.
Always comparing. And I saw this one time. It's like, we're not meant to see ourselves as much as we do. Like we're always picking on something. We're finding something that's not the same as the other person. So we label as it's not good or we're not perfect. So I think nowadays, the other day I was having a conversation with my partner and he's like, why do you back up so much? Like I've had such a journey in this whole social media platform where at first it was just fitness. Everything was how you look. And all of a sudden you start attracting people that you don't want, right? So I'm like, oh my God, I've always ran away from that. You know, I always covered. I always was like very to myself because I didn't want that type of attention that we get, right? We just get it. So then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'm going to start speaking. And it became a thing that, oh, okay, now I want to speak and I don't want to show my body. But then the brand itself, so there's this back and forth into like, how do we show up and how do we allow ourselves to just be? You know, who we are, that is completely, perfectly beautiful as it is. Not because we look a certain way, but because who we are. Does it make sense? Yeah. And so I feel like that's what shifts the outside. Like if you see me from 3 years back, you'd be like, what did you do? And it's like, I started going inwards. I stopped looking. What do you mean? What did my physical, my face. I healed my body. I had PCOS, IBS. I had severe gastrointestinal issues. I had so many health issues that I stopped and I went vegan. I started healing my body holistically.
You still vegan?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I've been obviously I'm a yoga teacher.
Really?
I feel like we need to
I've been made to go vegan, vegetarian, like so many times, and it makes me. I get so sick when
it's not for everybody.
I could wake up and eat a steak. I could eat a steak for breakfast, lunch, and dinner,
Literally.
and when I don't, I get like a cold sore, or I'm like. Yeah.
But let me just make sure this is clear. I went vegan because I studied, meaning I went deep into my roots.
Yeah.
And in what sense? My gut health, I don't process meats at all. Yeah. They don't digest well with me. They actually create a lot of inflammation, intestinal inflammation. So when I started studying like what was making me sick, food that I was eating that wasn't bad. I was eating chicken, steak, ground turkey, all that. It was making me sick. Yeah. So when I took those away, my body started to heal. So everybody, this is what I do. Like what I tell my clients, I don't do any plans if I don't test you. I don't do any plan because
what kind of testing do you do?
I do full hormonal panel. So we test over 100 biomarkers, heavy metals, your heart, your everything, estrogen, testosterone, every hormone. So, and then for gut health, I do a microbiome test, which is done through the stool. It's the most accurate and most effective way to see what foods are causing intestinal inflammation, your acid levels and all that.
That's
so
awesome.
What's your blood type, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Which it meant to, supposedly O is more like meats.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's because I'm O positive.
Yeah.
And we're like carnivores.
Yeah.
So my brother's A or AB, and he can't.
No.
He can't do it. He's more carbs, I would say.
Yeah.
Like not necessarily vegan, but like I'm pretty heavy carnivore, but I've tried to get him to do it and he can't do it.
No.
And then vice versa. I tried vegan one time and I wilted away into nothing. I was like, I was the skinniest I've ever been. I was like, this is horrible. And I'm not hot. I was gassy. I was like farting all the time. I was like, this is terrible. So, but I love what you said though. It's so true.
Yeah.
That's why I've always shied away from nutrition advice.
Yeah.
Because it is literally so different for everyone.
Everybody.
Everybody has a different story, has a different genetic, so
and
what works for somebody doesn't work. I mean, look at us. Like we're complete opposite in diets, but I think we're doing all right. So
we're doing awesome. Everybody looks great, But that's what I say. It's always like find out what works for you. Yeah. I'm not here. You don't see me ever doing a video like you have to be vegan. Like no, because that's not what I believe. I believe like most of my clients are not vegan, right? So it really depends on what you are inside, how your body's functioning. And till this point, everybody has unbalanced hormones. Everybody has some sort of gut health issues, meaning your second brain, which intakes that you have mental health issues. How many people have mental health issues? Most of us, right? Yeah. Because it's not something that is easily talked about. Men are so close to share because they have to continue building this persona of like, we don't feel, we're good.
Well, speaking about feeling, I'll get back to your question.
Yeah.
So you got the beginning of my life. So dance was like air, right? And then I met this tattoo artist. He slapped a tattoo on my back, and I moved to San Francisco with him. And he...
Oh, so you won. You stole him away from the goth girl.
The tattoo. It was a
Yeah,
tattoo.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah.
The surfer look worked.
Yeah. So I moved. Actually, he was living in San Francisco. He was a really famous tattoo artist, and he was in Philly for a second. He moved me out with him, and the first night I was out there, okay, wait. Let me just back up. I was born. This might freak you out. I was born in 1974. Okay, that's the Mario boat lift. Okay, so that, and it was also like cocaine cowboys. So I grew up with like...
You say Mario boat lift?
Boat lift is when Cuba...
You know what she's talking about?
No.
So Cuba in 1974,
Yeah.
they took all of the convicts and mental
Oh, okay, yeah. I
and
knew
they
that.
threw
Yeah.
them
I didn't know that was the name of
Yeah,
it.
They threw them
Miami.
into
Yeah.
Miami. That
Of
was the year I was
course.
born.
Oh, wow.
So
Scarface.
That's how
Yeah.
Miami was born.
So yeah, so so growing up, I grew up in Miami, and there was like parties and just like cocaine everywhere. I grew up around drugs. Like it wasn't a big deal to me. But then I went to San Francisco, and the first night I was there, he smoked crystal meth. And I had never seen that before in Miami, but I was like, sure, and so I smoked it, and I was like, it felt great.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, I'm not hungry. I feel hot. Wow. I was like, let's go. I'm like, no, there was no, like, I wasn't like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm so hungry. Like, it was like all like, yeah. And I have ADD, and I was like laser focused. I was like, I could solve the world's crisis right now. And then I didn't sleep. And then I didn't sleep. And then the next fucking day, he's doing it again.
Oh my God.
And I didn't know anyone there. And so I ended up doing it for 2 years straight.
Wow.
Anyway, I got myself out of it. I moved back to Miami, and I just stopped, just like that.
Cold turkey?
Cold turkey.
That's brutal.
My mom was there,
Okay.
and she was just, and I was like,
She had some support. Like,
yeah, but I stopped.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, that's it, And then in Miami, it was like there was still cocaine everywhere, and I was like, keep at like no can do, like anything white away.
Yeah.
And then I met my husband. I went to AA because I was always a partier. I was like, we got in a fight, I would go hit the bar. I would end up doing coke. I'd come back home, whatever. And he was like, Dawn, he was a doctor, and he was like straight laced, like super straight laced. And I was like, oh my God. And he's like, you better clean it up or I can't handle this. And so I went to AA, and I realized there was just a disconnect. I didn't know where my higher power was. I couldn't find my higher power. So I started singing. It's called kirtan. And it was like, I call it like a phone line to God. And I just start singing, and it's like a direct connection to the divine, to something greater than myself. And so I started incorporating that into yoga. And so yoga became way more than just a physical practice, but something that was steeped in spirituality. But what I have noticed, and what I've heard you guys saying about bodybuilding, which I think is pretty interesting, is this addictive, and I try to like really be aware of this in yoga too, like the addictive personality type, changing the drug of choice, right? And then it being like the gym or the yoga class, or like, it, instead of it being like where you grow, it becomes another crutch.
Yeah.
And so I'm finding that I had a 12-year period where I practiced yoga 2 days a week, 2 hours a day, 6 days a week. It's called Mysore. And it was almost like my drug. Like it kept me above water. And now that I'm a surfer, now I'm like, I surf a lot, and I got injured surfing, and I realized that it's a total body experience. That we're missing in yoga is the posterior chain, is everything posterior. Because I would paddle and I would get injured in my rotator cuff because my back body isn't strong, anywhere near as strong as my front body. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna not take yoga one day and go to the gym, like, which was radical to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then it became like, if I want to surf hard, like I like to surf, I have to go 3 days a week to like, and that's how I met Justin, because I walked into the gym and I was like, I just need my posterior chain. I was like, I don't even know what to do to make it happen. I was like, it's just asleep. And then I realized like yoga was like a drug. And not in that good way, you know, like I had and then through coming to the gym and having more play within the different modalities, it becomes less addictive in one kind of pigeonholed way. And I could become friends with like Regine. And it was like meeting Regine is just an amazing experience.
And how did y'all meet? Where did y'all meet?
Oh my God.
We shared a client.
No.
Before that?
Yes.
Tell me.
Okay, so Miss Dawn.
Not at the club, girl.
No,
you didn't invite me dancing.
No. Well, we do need to go Cacao dancing with her. Anyway, so
without the cocaine.
no, this is Cacao. Not cocaine.
It might have some magic in it, but that's okay.
Yeah, it has a little boost. I like cacao.
Yeah.
It's very natural.
What are we talking about?
Cacao.
What's that?
It's
not
like
mushrooms?
spiritual hot chocolate.
No, this is
It's like hot chocolate.
ceremonial
Cacao.
cacao.
Like cocoa?
No.
Yes.
No, yes, but okay.
Yes and
Like
no.
chocolate cocoa?
Yes. I can't believe you've never had.
Cacao.
It's called
Cacao.
cacao. It's from
Okay,
the cacao
I'll bring you
leaves.
some ceremonial cacao.
I'm seeing like the commercial right
and
now.
you
Like,
have to meditate.
cacao! 2 scoops for you.
Yes. Yeah.
But if you okay, go
Is
ahead.
it like caffeine?
Yeah,
Is
it's
it-
like hot chocolate.
It's
like
a
hot
heart
chocolate.
opener.
It's a what?
It's a heart opener. Cacao is a heart opener.
So it's a mushroom?
No.
It's a
It's a cacao
let's,
bean.
Let's
It's
step it back a second. It's like hot chocolate.
Okay.
It tastes like hot chocolate, really dark hot chocolate.
All right.
But it is like super organic, and it's from the cacao
Plant.
bean plant.
Yeah.
And it's oftentimes used like to have like you're consciously drinking, like you're very like you're drinking intentionally.
Intentionally. Inward.
It's
open.
bitter. It's not sweet, and it's so beautiful because it's like a little seed that comes in this beautiful plant. It's like a fruit, right? So it comes like a little seed, and from that you make this, and they call it heart opener because
Should have done that today, ladies.
right?
I would have brought it.
God, you didn't
I
bring
have
the
it at
cacao.
home.
Oh my
All right,
God.
go
I don't know
ahead.
how cool you were going to be with that. You know, I don't know.
All right.
Anyway,
I'm
so
cool with everything. It's all good.
okay, so I met you at DVC. You were training with another trainer. You were training with Kat.
Yeah.
I love Kat. So anyway, so I met her. She was so like her personality is so outgoing, and she shows up and she's like, I'm in a rush and talkative and this, and I'm very, back then 6 years ago, I was very structured, very like to myself, my clients, don't talk to me. I'm not here to talk to anybody. I'm here to train my client. I mean, it was like,
Why do I so see that? Like I can see that like easily, that was your personality, like easily.
Yeah.
Sorry. But
no, hey, it is.
I love it.
Which
Listen.
it works.
No,
Yeah.
but I will say this though,
Yeah.
like it's actually how you should be in that environment.
Correct.
And I think a
100%.
lot of people
Correct.
don't act professional, and that's why they don't elevate in that space, because they're not locked in like
Yes.
you were. So part of that is a good thing. So don't look at it as a bad thing.
To me, when it comes down to like the judging side of it, like, oh, I was this way, I was a certain way. No, for me, it's professional. It's work ethic.
Right.
For me, when it comes down to any environment where I've ever been, it's my presence. What am I showing up for? Am I showing up for a conversation with people, or am I showing up for my clients who are paying me hourly?
Exactly. It's a
So-
professionalism.
Correct.
So for me, people knew me for that.
Yeah.
And I was a perfectionist and very OCD and detailed. And I mean, where I work is very specific when it comes down to these things. The details matter. And everything is from the moment that you walk in, from their shoes to this to that. So again, it's when I would see her, I was like, man, I want a client like that. Because
That's
the little
cool.
girl.
What a
because
compliment, dog.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, when I met her
Yeah.
with when she came into Legacy, it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like just like
Really?
no, seriously, like you have a very
it's
when you so there's
beautiful.
certain people that walk in a room and make it either better or worse.
Yeah.
And you make it better.
Oh my God,
you
thank
see?
you guys.
You see? So, going with the conversation. Where's the tissue? Anyways, so very structured, and I would see her, and my coworker, which I love. And I mean, I was so like into my training and my clients. And then I would see her when she would walk in and I'm like, man, I really love that. I love how you can just show up anywhere and be yourself, where I was supposed to be a certain way. And this is the way it is. Mm-hmm. So I met her through her, and I would see her here and there. And then I started taking yoga classes. I would go to her studio. Yeah. And, you know, I really wanted to be her friend, but still, you know, very distant. And then, you know, I'm like,
we don't just pop in. No. I'm like, wait, can we be friends? Why can't we just be like that? You know, like,
walked it.
You know, I have to feel in. I'm very about energy.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm very sensitive when it comes to that. And so I held space. And then we had a common client of ours, which I love to death. And we were working together. And I think that just the combination of everything, strength training, she would come and train with him. And then we just became friends. And then now looking back, like everything, you plant so many seeds and wherever you go, people are just, they're meant for you to meet them for any reason or whatever reason it was. And I met Dawn 6 years ago on and off, like, you know, very seldomly, you know, here and there. But what's led to this year, which has been something so beautiful, and I'm so grateful to her, is that this year my intention was like, at the beginning of the year I was so broken after divorce and all these things, right? I know, I get so emotional. Anyways, my intention was to hold myself accountable and show up for myself in a more spiritual way through practice of yoga, meditation. And so I went to an ashram in the Bahamas, and I went by myself. I was like, my sister-in-law and my brother are very spiritual. And so I wanted to kind of step out and be like, no, I'm going to the Bahamas to go drinking and I'm going to, you know, isolate myself. And she's like, no, go back to yourself. And if I can teach you something is don't run away from yourself. You've been doing all this work, go back to the center, right? And so I went to the Bahamas. I meditated. I did kirtan. Yoga by the beach. And I was like, God, I'm all about faith. And it was just what I really wanted. And I arrived there. And my intention at the beginning of the year was like, I really want yoga to be part of my life. And moving forward, a couple months passed by, and I got a text message from Dawn. And I was with you that night, coming from Fort Lauderdale. I'm driving. And I get a text message, and I'm like, okay, I'm driving. Well, I was like, shit, okay, no, I got to look at what Dawn has to tell me. She's like, I want you to come. And I was like, I don't know if I can be away for that many days, which what we're talking about is a yoga teacher training. It's 9 days in Costa Rica, right?
Okay.
So she hosts this. And so I was driving, and I'm like, God, this is a sign. This is what I wanted. I planted the seed. I manifested something. I have an intention. This is what you want me to follow. Right? And so I was like, Dawn, if I can make it happen, I will. But, you know, and she's like, what if I tell you there's like a little angel, you know, this and that. And I was like, there's no way this lady's telling me this. There's no way Dawn is telling me this.
One of my yoga students who's so interesting, he gives scholarships once in a while. And he, just out of the blue, he was like, I'd like to give a scholarship to a student. And of course, as like a business person, I'm like, how do I don't know the word, like how do I parlay this, and, you know, like Instagram, like a raffle, or let's like
who do I select? Like,
and like how can I market this, you know, to my, and so I was like, it's such a good promotion, and we could get more likes and more follows and more, you know, I gotta have people lighting their hair on fire, and like, you know, like whatever, we go viral. And Regine, like, she said it quick, but we shared this with this client. Can we say it?
I don't like to say names. Okay, so this
one of our mutual clients, he's a basketball player, was so dear to my heart too. And I loved him. I still love him so much. And he would come, and he had insomnia, and he would call me, and we would practice like 5 days a week, you know, and just similar to Regine, when I was raised like to teach privates, I'm not allowed to take my hands off of somebody for the whole hour. Like I'm assisting them the entire hour. So it kind of surprised me in the workout world where trainers would be on their phone, and I would be like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "What?" Like, "What?" Like, you know, like I get it. I get it if I'm like, "Hey, can you take a story of me so I can post it?"
Eating,
but like, who are you talking to besides my bicep? Like, I don't know where my posterior chain is. Like, can you fucking figure it out for me? And touch it and like I couldn't.
But hold on. Say that out loud one more time. The phone? For every single damn trainer out there.
Oh my God, yes.
How can you be on your phone?
Or eating.
Oh God.
Well, I never had an eater. I never had somebody eat.
I had somebody eating. Like
Eating?
But your trainer eating?
Yes.
But that's the bodybuilder world.
Yeah.
He's like, I gotta get in my 6 meal protein.
Every 3 hours, I gotta eat. I'm sorry.
So I have, like, I've taught a lot of NBA players, like there was a hot 2 years where I was like ba 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 ba, and I was always amazed by how elegant they are moving wise. You know, so much like I did a lot of ballet. It was like very like a ballet dancer. But with this client that we shared, he would come to me and be like, Dawn, I just did arms, Dawn. You know, like that really like, come on, Dawn. And I'd be like, I don't even know what you're talking about. You just did arms. Like, what does that even mean? You know? So I'm like, I have to get to the bottom of this. And so I was like, Regine, is there any way that I could be with so-and-so and do what he's complaining about so I know what I should do and what I shouldn't do yoga-wise?
Which is amazing. That's very smart of you.
Yeah.
Because most people, what I don't like is when practitioners don't speak to each other. So like, I'm working with a professional athlete right now, and he's also working with a physical therapist, an osteopath, a chiropractor, a massage therapist, and I'm in touch with all of them.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Because you have to know what they're doing, so you don't do something that's like doubling what they're doing or not supporting that or against. And so that's very smart.
It was at a time where I also like didn't know the workout world as well as I do now.
Now you got them guns.
Hey.
And so Regine was like, yeah, of course, come.
That's great.
And so so I just wanted to say that. And then I was like, I felt so cariñoso, like I loved this person so much and I wanted to protect him so much, you know. And I was like, who's training him? I'm gonna beat them up. Jealous. And then I was never jealous. I was mad at one of his other trainer. I was mad at somebody once that hurt his feelings. And I just wanted him to have a lot of love, because I feel like the
for the record, I've probably hurt a lot of feelings training professional athletes.
Yeah.
So.
Like, you know, there's
sometimes their feelings need to be hurt.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
In a good way. In a good
Totally.
way.
So I needed to, you know, cut through the bullshit. I just wanted to see what was on the other side. Like, is it really arms day?
Right.
You know? Or
because a lot of times they're full of shit. So.
Is it because you can or you don't want to?
Right.
Correct.
Exactly. No, and that's a true statement.
I wanted to like see, and then I saw Regine in action, and I was like, she's got the heart, and she's got the like whip, and it was like a perfect combination. And I was
the
like,
biceps.
Like, like, and I was just, it made me feel so like, I felt like whatever we could do for this athlete was like that now it's up to him, you know what I mean? But we were doing our best, and that meant a lot to me. And I think you're such an amazing trainer, and I love the fact that you're like perfectionist. When you're at work and you're training somebody, it should be beautiful. That should be the main focus.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you gave her the retreat for free.
Yeah.
So that's how this all came.
So she.
And when was this retreat?
I didn't make it a big viral Instagram thing. I never even said
you didn't like put her on blast?
No, because she was like,
obviously to make her talk.
She was like, if I can make it, I will. But she said something, and I was like, and then that person came and was like, I want to give somebody a scholarship, and I was like, bro, she's a single mom, she's got 2 kids, she's got a great practice, she loves yoga. Do you want to? And I was just like. And then she was like,
I started crying.
When was this though? When did you go?
It's in 2 weeks.
Oh, you haven't even gone yet.
No,
this is cool.
Yeah.
All right. Congrats.
Yeah.
Yay.
Enjoy it.
Thank you. I'm looking forward
Costa
to it.
Rica is amazing.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
Well, I haven't been there yet.
You're going to
but
love it.
Yeah, it's so nice.
being able to spend time with you and learning from you, because this is something that I intentionally wanted to do this year. And who's best? Somebody who also not just does the yoga practice, but also the spiritual side of it, which I'm into that, right? And I appreciate that so much. And just to be able to go to these classes and be able to learn from you and the beautiful mentors that you've assigned as well, I think is everything just makes sense, right? And for me, what's happened with training too, it's been such big transition, because before was like all in or nothing, right? Like perfection. You got to do this, or there's no other ways of. It was all like you're coming in, you're putting all this hard work, and guess what? You're going back home, and then you're going back to a broken self, right? Because that's where we find ourselves in the gym is, okay, let's run away from our problems, let's de-stress here, and let's work on what we know it's quick to fix since we've been young, right? And so with yoga practice and, also doing a lot of other things within the process of being divorced and whatnot, everything just correlates, right? Everything just sinks in together, and it's more an inside job now, an inside work, where even now when I train my clients, they're like, oh, you just came from a retreat. I can tell. I'm like, no judging. We are here to breathe. Let me tap in. How are you doing? How are you feeling?
No.
I don't know if I like this, Regine. I'm like, oh, damn it. Okay, strong. Okay, let's go. Hard. And I'm like, oh, shit, no. Hold on a second. Hey, how are you feeling today?
Oh, no.
So it's like,
So now you're a soft ass trainer? Is that what you're trying to say?
no.
I'm like a completely different person when you put me in the gym.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
I'm always like, with my clients, every mindset, because I coach mindset, right? So holistic health and mindset. And when they see me, we're talking about emotions, we're healing inside.
Yeah.
I'm like, you come visit me to Miami. I'm like, remember you like me, okay? But once we step into these doors, I'm somebody else.
Yeah.
Like something possesses me. I don't know. I'm
In the
like,
gym.
oh my God. I become
Different
like,
personality.
if you stop, you start all over again. Okay. Just saying,
I had to
it's okay.
completely change the way I went into the gym when I became a gym owner.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because I used to think that the weights were like my enemy.
Yeah.
So I used to like literally a switch would go off and it was like going to war. It was like you step in the gym and it's like, oh, you're not winning today. And then I was very obsessive with like, if I said I was going to do 4 sets of 8, then it was always 4 sets of 9 or 10. If I said I was going to do 30-second sprints, I did 35 seconds.
Yes.
Everything was like to outdo myself and to beat myself. Cool. But then I started like snapping at members and snapping at people because I was in my thing.
Right.
And I was justifying it because I was in my thing. Like, no, I'm working out. This is just how I act. And then I was like, wait a minute, I own the gym. I can't act like this, because you get people start talking about, say, that dude is a jackass. He's rude. He's mean. And it was just because and it was only when I was working out, but you're working out for an hour, 2 hours in your own gym. You're interacting with a lot of people. So quickly I had to totally change that personality. And actually now it makes working out so much more fun.
Yeah.
Like now I actually enjoy it instead of it being like, killing myself. So even though I still try to kill myself, but I do it and laughing at members and high-fiving and like having a good time. So yeah.
So what got you into this business? Right?
Well, I always say I could throw a football before I could walk. So I literally threw a football out of my crib before I could walk.
So you relate to my son.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
And my dad, I used to call dumbbells dumb bars, like at age 4, I would be lifting. Like I was born, my dad was a natural bodybuilder. Wow. He ate boiled chicken and rice like 6 to 7 times a day. That's all they knew to do back then, in the 70s. And my dad was like, he still is yoked, but he was like just jacked. And so he kind of introduced me to that, introduced me to hard work. Would wake me up at 5 a.m, make me run in front of the car. I'd be crying in front of his car, and you know, like, but not in like a child abuse way.
Yeah.
But,
I know, you gotta be careful.
Right.
if I do that now,
Yeah.
I'll be arrested. But back then it was just like, I'm from the South.
Yeah.
That's just what we did, you know? So, and to this day, I give my dad and my mom, obviously, but all the credit in the world for discipline.
Yes.
Like, I know I wouldn't have the discipline I have today if it wasn't for the things that we, you know, making our bed, you know, chores, like all the stuff that I find sometimes people don't even do anymore.
Yeah.
So,
No.
and then I was really into sports. So played every single sport you can think of, from tennis to football to baseball to everything, you know? And then, and I also was into like theater and dance and all that too, but it wasn't cool in the South. Like, you know, like I was the star, I was the dancing Santa Claus in 5th grade. Like, no, third grade. I still have videos of it. Actually, the funniest all-time story of me in a play was I was doing my thing and my pants fell off in front of the entire, like, parents.
How old?
I was like 5th grade.
Oh,
So my pants fell off. Everyone is pointing, laughing. I mean, my boys weren't out. I had underwear on, obviously. I wasn't like, I wasn't like that. But my pants literally fell off.
Yeah.
But I was such a good, I mean, that sounded so arrogant, but I was so good at like acting and stuff. And like I acted like it was part of it. Like it was supposed to happen. And then everybody stood up and clapped. And so but it was so embarrassing, like, you know, at the time. And so that was one of my stories. And then there was, I don't know, theater stories. But so then I kind of like, you had to make kind of a choice, you know, like you're going to be football or you're going to, you know, play the saxophone. It's like, well, football. So, you know, from the South. But what was the question?
How'd you get into this?
How do you get into this?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, so then I was, I played football at Auburn University. So I broke my back in high school, my junior year in high school, hairline fracture in my L5-S1. And then I rehabbed myself back, healed myself through a chiropractor, didn't get surgery, earned a scholarship to Auburn. And then I broke it again. And this time it was a full fracture.
Oh, the same
Exact spot and everything. Cause I healed it. There was a calcium deposit over it. So the hairline fracture healed, but then I did it again and it broke completely in half.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was miserable. And I was in pain 24 hours a day. I was in pain.
Wow.
So I had to like really make a decision. Did I really want to keep beating up my body or did I want to heal and do something different? So I went into a dark depression. I went from 240 pounds to a 22-inch neck, like super jacked, to 185 pounds, like messing around with ecstasy and drinking and, you know, just weed. Like I had never took more than a sip of alcohol before the age of, I was a virgin until 21. Like, you know, I was like very strict, you know? So it threw my world upside down. But then that only lasted for like 3 months. It wasn't like like literally 3 months.
That's nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's almost laughable, right? It's like, you did drugs for 3 months? Cute.
It's
like,
cute.
oh, you did 3 ecstasy pills? Oh, you're so cute. So that's like,
it was part of your process.
yeah, right.
Well, you
exactly.
experienced it.
Yeah,
you
but
know
I
how
did
it
experience
feels.
it. So, but no crystal meth in my life. Sorry.
Yeah, don't know what to
You win in the drug world, all right? But and then 3 months, you know, and it was like something inside of me was like, look, this isn't you. Like something just clicked. And I really just absolutely dove into exercise science, kinesiology, health promotions, everything in that degree. Started training more athletes on the football team than the own strength coach. So I actually had more people under me than the strength coach at Auburn. And I was training them and I just realized I had a knack of leadership. Like, and I always knew that because I was the leader back in high school too, but this was more because I'm now a redshirt junior at college, and I've got like seniors and like star players that are going to the NFL looking at me like, what do we do today, coach? You know, and I was younger than them. So that was like really, so then I went to Sanford University to be a strength coach. And he was actually my personal trainer in Birmingham when I was in 9th grade, was the head strength coach. Wow. So he basically kind of just gave me the football team and the tennis team, I think, or I think it was, And so I started training them. And then I got a random call from a buddy of mine, Ibrahim Rahman, was here in Miami. He was a 6'4", gorgeous black man doing modeling. Good friend of mine. We grew up together. Him and TJ Slaughter were really good friends of mine. Both like like too good looking black. Like black guys are like, why are you so good looking? Like it was weird. Green eyes, like crazy. So I was like, you're a model in Miami? And he's like, look, I can get you on as a stunt double in Bad Boys 2. He's like, all you have to do is shave your head. And this is when I had hair, so no laughs. Right? Okay. I had nice blonde locks. So I had shaved my head and literally packed my car and drove to Miami. Like, left everything. Yep. And I actually had a job and stuff. And I'll never forget coming over and seeing the Miami Beach, like welcome to Miami Beach. And I was like, oh, I'm never leaving here. Like, you know? And I literally called my mom. I was like, I'm never leaving. And and then the rest is history. So, I mean, there's a lot. Obviously, there's 20. So I've been here for 24 years. So now I've 8 gyms and, you know, a water line and all kinds of stuff. But so there's a lot of stuff in between. But that's what I guess got me into it. Yeah. The short answer. Yeah.
That's beautiful. So, you know what? And it's right now, all of us talking on how we met. I think I was 4 or 5 years ago. I went to one of your locations you used to have in Wynwood. Somebody was like, oh, you come to classes. I'm like, you know, I don't do HIIT. You know, I don't do those things. I just lift. I don't do HIIT.
Isn't it funny? Everybody says stuff like people like that come from y'all's background, like, oh, classes. Like, I don't even do classes. And I invented it. I created it. Like,
it's so hard. They're so good. Yeah. So then I was like looking at the concept. I'm like, if he keeps this up, it's going to do real good. Mind you, I would go to like the 4 a.m. class or 5 a.m., something ridiculous. You weren't even in. So I was like, I didn't know who you were. But I saw, and I've always had this mindset of like business. I love businesses and just people creating something from their thoughts of whatever it is, it comes to you. This is yours. This is coming, something can, I mean, now they can copy it. But back in the day, you just created this, right? So I went to one of your locations. I was like, wow, this is really freaking cool. And now here I am talking to you. So this is amazing.
Cool. Yeah.
Super cool.
I think I actually, were you, I've been meaning to ask you, and of course on a podcast. During COVID, weren't you on that, all the gym owners, we were talking to like some mayor or something?
Yeah, I was the guy that everybody was saying, you can't talk to the mayor like that. Like
I was on that Zoom thing with you, and I was like, thank God. Speaking. Because
I was the only one that let them have it. Like, I had like other gym owners texting me like, bro, calm down. You can't talk to the mayor like that.
No, I was
like, hell no. They're trying to rip 12 years of my life away. I had been building that particular location for 12 years. I had Coral Gables and I had Kendall and I had 3 other gyms under construction during that time. God. So I was about to lose everything. Everything. Yeah. So I was going ham on that guy, like ham. And I was also doing stuff a lot behind the scenes that nobody knew about. Like I was writing letters, I was digging in, it's hard to talk about. Like I was going hard in the paint because they were really about to ruin our lives over, I knew for a fact, bullshit.
Yeah.
The whole thing was bullshit. So
yeah.
We won't go there, but.
The design district, thank God, they were so awesome because we can only do things outside. And it had to be
But you could eat inside.
It had to be private. It had to be private. And so they let me do like guerrilla classes, and I would schlep like big ass speakers, me with my soundboard. And before COVID, I was like the diva. Like I did a lot of events, and like I had a sound team and a this team and a that team. And then COVID hit, and I was like, oh shit. And so I would take my speakers and a cart and my thing, and I would like link it up and like just blast it, and they would protect me in the district. But I was like, this is crazy what they're doing. And I remember you speaking on Zoom, and I was like, and my husband, I said this before, he was a doctor, and he was like, Dawn, this just has to roll through, you know, like it's like a cold. It has to just, it has, and thank God he had that same approach as me, because yoga for me, like I said, was like my air. So I had to keep practicing no matter what. And I'm like, if I'm going to practice, y'all can practice. Right. But my husband was like, it's okay, you know, practice. And if you get it, the whole family will be together. You're not isolating, you know, it's whatever. It is going to roll through us. And I just remember you being very vocal. And I was like, he's saying the right stuff. This is the right thing. And that was like who you were and still are to me, was that guy who I was like championing. Yeah, it
was frustrating though, because like, I mean, it's so nice to hear you say that, because I actually got a lot of hate from a lot of people.
I'm sorry, I would have actually
like a lot of
I
people.
would've-
A lot of people that I respected, and I was like, what? I was like, y'all really think this? And it was just, there was a lot of people
Yes.
during that season that are no longer in my phone, you know, that are no longer in my life because of the way they acted during that time. And I won't let that slide. Like, I can't.
I would have, had I known you better, I would have been like, you're the best. You said everything right. That was totally accurate. And
well, and by the way, it wasn't, and all of this was not emotions and feelings. What I did the day that they shut us down, so March 17, 2020, I'll never forget it. I went home, I got a bottle of wine, I slammed it down on my desk. I told my wife, and by the way, my son was born in February 2020. So I just had a newborn baby in the house. I slammed my door and said, I'm not leaving until I figure this shit out. And I read damn near 178 pages on the CDC website that completely contradicted everything that we were being told on their own website.
Wow.
And I was like taking notes and I was like preparing, because one of the things too I felt at that time, and I'm sure you felt the same way, is we almost felt as leaders in the community and having members of your spot, they're looking to us as like, what do we do? And so I had at the time 2,000-ish members, and they're all saying, what do we do? Right? Like, and they're not like, they don't know what to do. They're literally like, what do we do? So I was like, all right, if I'm gonna be talking stuff, because you have a gut feeling, you have intuition and things like that, but at the end of the day, you want to kind of be somewhat factual. Yeah. So I just felt a responsibility to educate myself on what has happened in the past and how things have been handled, because all of a sudden to change protocol and act in this certain way with no reasoning didn't make any sense to me. Like, no, I don't want to go down the COVID train,
crazy,
but it was, you know.
But you survived.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, I always tell people that 2020 was a season that you really got to know yourself, those around you, the world. Like it was like, I call it, a lot of people said it was the Great Reset. I call it the Great Awakening. Yes. Like I feel like it was an awakening of decisions that we had to make during that time on our freedoms, on our health,
our relationships,
like everything. And it was, and to this day, it's so sad, the relationships that I lost because of that. It is sad. It's not something that I like celebrate. It's sad, but it's also relieving because now you know. It's kind of like the curtain was pulled back on how people really feel. Yeah. You know, because they're gonna definitely let you know how they feel. Yeah. Like, yeah. But we're here. Wow. Yeah. That's 5 years later. It's past us, thank God.
Good.
Yeah. But so let's talk a little bit about, because I know there's gonna be a lot of females watching this, and you know, you three ladies are very powerful in your own right, in your own lanes. And what do you find to be the most misconceptions out there, that, because we are consumed with information. Like there is a million, not that you're one of a kind, obviously, but there's a million versions of you out there giving advice. Correct. And probably out there saying you have to be vegan, you know, or whatever. So, and there's a lot of people out there, yoga experts and what have you, and a lot of women personal trainers and Thai massage. Like there's so many voices. What do you find that's kind of cringy in the terms of like what you find is not accurate, or in your opinion is misconceptions in the world of a woman becoming their best self?
That's a great question. I think for me, when you asked that question, it went automatically into who we're supposed to be. Right? In a world where, yes, a lot of women are leading, a lot of women are stepping into their power, the feminist, how the masculine should be, it puts this hat on that you need to do it all, right? In the sense of like, you know what, you're strong, you don't need anybody, you need to do this on your own, you need to figure this on your own, and you're like stepping into this role and teaching the new generations where isolate yourself and carry all on your own. So I think for me, when you pop that question was, hey, you know what? Even if we can do everything on our own, we don't want to. Like, let's just be honest. Like, we don't want to. Like, we need to be owned into, yes, we have the skills to learn something new, to provide, to do whatever role you want to do, but also opt into you as a woman, right? What does that look like for you? And allow true partnership, allow true friendships to be just as it is. And then the part of the information is the one size fits all, right? It doesn't. Everybody's unique. Everybody's facing something different. Like for you, even sharing that for me, and immediately I was like, wow, in a world where we see the outcome, like you made it, you have it all, you didn't lose your essence, like you didn't lose yourself. Maybe you did, you broke down, you got back up. But at the end of the day, you went through it, right? And that's what, like, where it comes to me is like, not one size fits all. You don't have to aim to be perfect. Just gotta go through it. Don't dismiss where you're facing. You don't have to be like her. You don't have to be like me. You don't have to. Just figure out your own path and your own experience, right? So that's where
and show up
and show up.
and
Yeah,
do it. And
yeah,
and even those silent wins, right?
Yeah,
those things
because
that we don't, you know.
We don't talk about
think
it.
that they're not seen and people are not noticing or whatnot, but those little efforts that you create and you do every single day, they add up, right?
Most of our wins are silent.
And
Oh yeah, most of it. And
Unfortunately.
nobody.
Yeah.
Well,
We need to celebrate more our wins.
Yeah.
Well, and I think
Well, that's where
we
we
talked
come from.
about even like the side
relationships,
of
friendships.
perfection or this.
Yeah.
Everything we went through was necessary.
Yeah.
Like, it's not bad that we went through that. It's not bad. Like, whatever you went through and whatever you face and whatever we own up to, how we did things, it got us here.
Yeah.
It was so necessary. So instead of looking at the experiences of life as being the wrong, oh no, that was a mistake. No, that was a lesson. We needed to experience it in order to get here. Like, if it wasn't for my pain, for my suffering, for my darkness, I wouldn't be here having a beautiful community and having a business where I can connect with so many women around the world. So at the end of the day, I believe that your pain becomes your gift. We need it. So stop railing off because your life doesn't look like hers or because you don't look like that. We all started somewhere. We all have a path to embrace. There's not one size fit all. And that's what it truly means. It means experience life as it is. Show up in whatever way it is. Figure out yourself. If you go down the drain, just, okay, what am I feeling? Okay, let me get back up. What am I doing? Reframe, rewire, but own it, you know?
Yeah.
Become responsible for your life. I think the biggest lesson that I learned in my life is I didn't wait for anybody to come change it. I didn't wait for people to come in my door and say, hey, here's your life figured out, right? We talk about beauty, right? We talk about, I face beauty as a bad thing because people will look at you like, oh, you're beautiful. You can get anything in life. Why can I get it? Because I'm smart. Why can I get it? Because I have a skill. Why can I get it? Because I'm worthy of it, right? Only because of looks. So instead of seeing, oh no, I need to be this way, live life. Just live it. That's what we're here to do, is experience it. Because of your experience, you got all of this, right? It wasn't gifted. You earn it by showing up, by facing your truth, by going through it, right? So I think nowadays people are finding them to be, oh, I need to be perfect, or
Excuses.
let me not make a
Excuses too.
mistake, or let me not post this because, and I face that, the whole perfectionist, right?
Well, perfection causes paralysis.
Correct.
So every single time you sit
Yes.
of wanting something right, then it causes you not to post, not to talk, not to do. It actually makes you stuck. And part of the reason why you become who you are is through action.
Correct.
And a lot of people sit with their thoughts instead of actually acting it out, because making mistakes is part of becoming who you are.
Yeah.
Like, there are no losses, there's only lessons. So every time you do make a mistake, it actually makes you stronger. And because you learn from it. And the whole trick is just don't make the same mistake twice.
Yeah.
And learn from it.
Well, I fall into that category of second guessing myself, perfectionist. Do I sound well? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, this has been a process. Our friendship has been.
So it's so funny.
We met
Years ago. So we met through
8
my
months
ex because he was very well known. He had a supplement company. He had a lot of good things going on for him. And then I saw her in the gym. What is it? What gym? Let's not say name.
yeah,
Okay.
no name.
So I saw her in the gym.
No promotion
and
for
immediately
free.
I'm like, oh my gosh, she's hot. What? like always thought she was so hot, and she's so hot. She's so beautiful. So then I say to him, I'm like, can we sponsor her, please? I'm like, I don't know who she is. She just looks good, you know? And she's training weird as fuck. Like, she doesn't train like, you know, like your normal bicep curl. She will grab a freaking kettlebell and throw it around and swing
that's my
it.
background.
And
Kettlebells?
Right? Kettlebells, steel
Yes.
mace, steel clubs.
Oh, yeah?
I mean,
Do you know
Super
Grant
cool.
Wieditz?
who?
Grant Wieditz?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think so.
He used to train anatomy,
Yes,
mace
yes,
guy. Yeah,
yes.
he was just here yesterday.
So
Yeah, he's awesome.
those are my favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite tools.
Oh,
to
that's
train.
good.
And so people
Yeah.
knew me and recognized me.
She
hello,
said
it
you
was-
train weird.
well, for me at that stage, I mean, I don't know.
I love it.
What was, I mean, I was so.
like Bam Bam.
Yeah, right? She's throwing shit around. She's,
Well, when you
it
walked
looks fun.
in, when she walked in the gym for the first time, I saw you in person. I saw you from far away. And I was like, is that G.I. Jane?
Yes.
I get called it a lot. but-
Yes.
Well,
So then I went up to her and
It's
I
a
was
compliment,
like, yeah.
no, I know. Thank you. Thank you. I
No,
take it,
it's
thank you.
beautiful. So I went up to her and I was like, hey, I don't know what you do, but we want to sponsor you. She's like, okay. So then that's kind of how I started, but we never really connected deeply as we have recently, you know, like in the past 2 years or so, a year. Yeah, like it's been so beautiful the way we connected because life happens, you know, and I think getting older, we start nourishing relationships more, you know, for what they are and not for what they do for us or anything or what we're supposed to show up as. It's just to be, you know, to have a deep connection is so sacred. So,
And also alignment.
I think
Yes.
that was a good, like, an interesting comment that, and we kind of like went on a really cool little conversation. But what's cringy? That's what you said.
Yeah.
Like, what's cringy
In the
our-
industry, you know, like when you see stuff out there that you're, I don't want to say peers, but, you know, maybe people in the same space and you see it. Because that happens with me. I mean, I see it. I'm like, oh, God, why are they telling these young kids this? You know, so I'm just curious, like,
I've got
what-
a lot of.
yeah.
I've got a few of those.
okay, talk.
things.
Let's hear it.
yeah.
I think okay. First, I'm like
Audience, look at me.
I'm like yoga is huge. It's almost like saying like the ocean.
Yeah,
Like, you know,
yeah,
so
yeah.
people are like, "Oh, you do yoga." And they already like they're like there's so many preconceptions about what that is. You know, so that's number one. Number two, Instagram has really ruined yoga. Like yoga is not about doing a handstand or, you know, Aloe has changed the face of yoga. Aloe, so I started a clothing line to combat Aloe yoga. But no, and what I find, and you're talking about women specifically.
Yes, yeah.
What I think is, this is my kind of thing where I'm at right now. Because I'm in this level in my career that I get to know these women that have a big following or have this amazing body and they're almost like superstars in their own field. I'm now friends with them, and the demystification of the woman's body, which I think is so interesting because you have somebody that looks like these girls, right? And then you'll have like another girl just hate on them, just be like, she's just built like that, like oh, she just got it like that, or I'm not gonna do that, and we
Well,
live
they
in
do just wake up like this.
yeah,
So.
exactly. Well, this is, I mean,
No, don't work at all. You just wake up like that.
and it's the same thing in the yoga world.
Yeah.
Like there's girls that will do handstand presses and stuff, and they're like, oh, well, she's just like that.
Yeah.
But no, you know, if you do want to do a handstand in a yoga class, which handstands are not part of the yoga practice, so you better lock it in when you're in yoga. If you're going to do a handstand, it better be on point. You got to drill it. If you want to look like this, you got to work at it, you know? And that is also not yoga. Yoga is the union of your body, mind, and spirit. So people throw around the ideals of yoga, and there's so much to work through in terms of like, there's so many levels of what yoga is. It's not like a bicep curl. There's like 600 spans of what yoga is. And what I find is so significant is yoga is spiritual. And the thing that makes me like crazy, it makes me like want to rip somebody apart, is that they're taking out Sanskrit, which is like all the yoga poses are in Sanskrit, which is like, you know, the word asana, and like you've heard that word before, you know, it's asana and tadasana and all of these, there are words that are, so every pose ends in asana. So asana means seat. So like when you sit in meditation, you find your seat, right?
Stillness.
Like stillness, and you find your seat. Every single pose, you can reach enlightenment because every pose has a seat. So like Trikonasana, triangle pose, we all know that pose, right? You know? So it's called Trikonasana because you should be able to breathe and find your seat within each posture. And they want to take the word out, like take Trikona, they want to make a triangle and not Trikona. That makes me like bananas.
Right.
And they're doing teacher trainings and they're not teaching the words of the poses. And so if you want to know what makes me cringe and crazy, it's taking out the essence of the practice.
Listen, those names are so hard. Trikonasana.
Oh no,
Utkatasana.
you don't want to see me in yoga. No.
But it's like, so these words,
beautiful. It's beautiful.
my teacher is a philosophy Sanskrit teacher. I meet with her once a week. She's as close to enlightened as possible. And so Sanskrit, there's 5 places on the top of your mouth, and you can hit it with different parts of your tongue. Like Indian people speak like their tongue world is back in their mouth. So your tongue can hit 5 different places on the tops of your mouth, like almost like acupuncture. And it's like Raiders of the Lost Ark. You can unlock the codes of the universes by the different ways that you put your tongue on your mouth.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Listen.
Never
Yeah.
heard that one before.
So like, just think about this. Like
Fascinating.
think about like Marilyn Monroe and Happy Birthday to JFK, right? Like she's like, Happy birthday. So that's how we speak in our culture, is like, hi Manning, how are you? You know, but all of your life force
It's out.
all of your life force is flying out.
Yeah.
Right.
In yoga, we're training to bring it back in and control it and bring it in here, and then
It's beautiful.
actually direct where your life force wants to go.
It's very
I can't
very
wait.
intentional.
It's intentional and
Yeah.
it's layered, and people should have they should be practicing yoga all the time. If they're going to teach yoga, they should I had a 2-year apprenticeship like
Well, it's the same thing that's happening. Well, not the same thing, but it's very similar in what we're seeing in the training world also. Like everybody's
Anybody
a trainer.
can be a trainer.
Everybody's a trainer. You can get a certification for $29.99 at the local expert reading, online, digital, like whatever, you know what I mean? And it's ridiculous. And, you know, I went to school for it and have multiple certifications, you know, and it's like, it is frustrating. But I will also say it's the reason why we get paid what we get paid and they get paid what they get paid. So it's, you know, that's something I would lean into, knowing that you are a professional, knowing that you are, there's a separation between an amateur hour and a real true practitioner of yoga, you know? So lean into that, you know, like lean into the fact that you're the OG, you know what you're doing, you know,
and just share more
and
of
highlight
that.
that. And so that you're not messing up your own chakra, is that the word? You know? With
your own vibe.
Yeah.
And yoga we call it your bhav,
your mood,
above.
you know?
I
So-
love that, but I would love, like, even sharing that is so powerful, you know, because I think we're in a world where there's a lot of everything, that what makes a difference is sharing, you know, the more
it's
we
that
share.
content value on Instagram. I have to do that more.
Or your story.
Yeah.
So both of you
I
have
know.
to tell your story more. You know,
Correct.
because your story is your power. And everything. Like the moment you're vulnerable with your audience, then they will connect with you. Like Anna does a good job of sharing where she's been, not just where she is. So by taking people back to the things she had difficult with, people now can resonate with her, can say, oh, she's been through it. Okay, she's authentic. I didn't just wake up looking like this. Because if she's only speaking to who she is now, then these bitches are going to be like, man, that bitch looks, you know. So, you know what I mean? That's how,
It's true.
you know, so oftentimes you got to tell your struggle, not just your wins.
Correct.
Like, and we all, Instagram is the highlight reel of our lives.
Correct.
Very rarely do we show the sides of us that are the dark side, like, because that's not cool. And then also it's very hard in this world too to show your vulnerability, because you're judged on the fact that when you do that, people think you're seeking attention.
Correct.
So there's this double-edged sword. Do I do it? But at the end of the day, who gives a shit?
Correct.
Who cares what people think? Because they're going to think what they want to think anyways. And your tribe, your people, people that resonate with you will find them, they will find you. And then all of a sudden you'll have your 10,000, 100,000, what million, whatever it is, people that want to know more from you. Yeah. Because they like, it's like walking into a gym. Everybody's walked into a gym where you're like, ugh, the vibe is kind of weird. Like you're like, I don't know about this place. Or you walk into the gym like Legacy and you're like, you know, oh yeah, this got a vibe. But I'll be honest, there's people that walk into Legacy that don't like it. And that's okay. We're not for everybody. We're not for everybody, but we should be who we are for everybody. So be your 1000% authentic self. And then you will attract those people that are meant for you. But if you fake it, if you act like somebody that you're not, then you're going to attract the wrong people.
It's going to fade.
And then it's going to affect your life in a negative way instead of being a positive light. Anyways.
Yeah. And I love that you share that because I'm sorry, that's an alarm. Thank you.
Oh, you're right. They're about to start class. So.
Oh, I thought that was
I
like,
was like, this is the time.
This is
Oh my God. It's so funny.
well, the time is 4:44. Okay, so it's
Make a wish.
oh my God, I mean, the time is so long. We're so like each other.
Beautiful. But you know,
we should have shot this on a Saturday, so we could have gone. We should have done the Joe Rogan 3.5 hour podcast. We probably could have easily done that.
Easily.
But they're about to start class, so. And we can do a part 2 if we want to, but this was fun. I want to end with this because I end with this all the time, and I ask all my guests this. So if there's anything that you wish the world knew about you but don't, what would that thing be?
Oh, can you say that again, please? Can you say that again?
So I think oftentimes we want people to know something about ourselves that we keep hidden. And it's because of either fear of their reaction or we're some weirdo or whatever. And it can be, it could be that you love to dance naked in the living room. I don't know. Or it could be something deeper than that. But I believe that people have this authentic self in them that they want to let out, but for some reason they just don't. And so it would be cool to find out what that thing is for y'all.
For me is vulnerability. Showing up, we just talk about showing up authentically, right? And filling up this hat of, okay, I'm a coach, I'm an educator, I'm a nutritionist, specialize in this is what I need to talk about. But I've been having this face off where I just want to show my heart, where I want to be more vulnerable, when I want to just show the real of every single day, where I'm constantly struggling. I am in depth with my clients, but I'm also running a business where I'm becoming a mess and I'm broken. Then I'm, okay, I need to get back up. And then I go my balcony and I cried and I'm like, okay, this is one step further. Let's keep moving. So just showing more of me. Yeah. I think that's the part that I'm facing off right now, that I'm like, I don't even know what blogging is, because I'm always strategizing what I need to talk about and how am I going to show up and what do I need to wear. And I want to be able to just be. And
but messy is in.
Yes.
No, seriously. I saw it the other day that messy is in. Like what I mean by that is like what you find that you're not showing is actually what people want.
Correct.
Because we all struggle. Like this week sucked for me. Like this week was just hell.
Oh my God.
Hell. So I did a video with Oscar, kind of somewhat talking about, not going into detail or anything, but being like, just the feeling that this was a tough week. Yeah. And like, I think people look at us sometimes online and they're like, oh, he's a superhero, she's, Wonder Woman or what have you. And they don't realize that we all go through. Yeah. Everybody is fighting a battle. Everyone. Yeah. In their own way. Yeah. Whether it be a mental battle, a physical battle, and sometimes it's both, sometimes it's one or the other. And that's why we have to meet each other better with grace.
Correct.
Like instead of just constantly judging everybody. Like when you meet someone and they don't respond in the way that you expected them to respond, how about take a deep breath and realize maybe they just broke up with their girlfriend. Maybe their grandmother just died. Maybe they, you know what I mean? Like maybe they're going through something that's not about you. And that's what I find, that people just are so consumed with themselves that they're not giving other people grace in moments like that. So, all right. Regine,
All right.
you're up.
All right. So for me, I think my biggest battle is not showing up as myself. It's just opening up to everyone and letting people hear my voice, because I do have a voice. But I think I've been so hidden in my own head as well, my life or whatnot, that the platform has slightly helped. But also for me is like, I have 2 beautiful sons. So no matter what I do, I'm still going to be judged. I'm going to be looked as, is she a leader? How is she leading us? You know, besides she's a professional, she's this, but then she wants to wear this. So I don't know, Mom, you contradict yourself and then you do this. So for me, it's like showing up, owning it, and just, you know, hearing my voice and letting the world hear my voice, and that it's not about perfectionism and it's not about, you know, all these ideal things, because I do show certain things in my Instagram, and I kind of just, you know, when I do show real life, people are like, oh my God, we want to see more of that. But then my kids are like, don't post me. So then it's like a constant battle. But I think just being more free and just getting off your head would be like my biggest thing right now. So yeah, this is
You have plenty of help.
Listen,
I
we've
told her
tried. We've tried.
Like, y'all would be like,
we
you know.
tried.
We haven't tried.
No, I
It's
think
either we do or we don't.
no, and then I guess the student is ready for the teacher when it's ready.
Yeah.
Right? So the teacher's always going to be there. But if you're not ready, and I think...
But hold on, you're never going to be ready.
Exactly.
Okay, so there you go.
Exactly.
No, you're not going to be ready.
Of course. So
You have
it's
to
just,
jump,
Exactly.
and don't worry if there's water in the pool or not. Just jump. Because you're not going to drown. You're going to be fine.
Yeah, just jump.
I know. It's a great thing. But thank
Dawn.
you.
The question was that what do you want the people
So
to
if there's
know?
anything that you feel like you wish the world knew about you but they don't, what would that be?
Motherhood is super hard for me. Like, I had my first, you know, as I said, I was like addicted to drugs, and that was always like kind of like where I went. Like if I would either like really go hard with like in my dance career, and then when that, you know, I would just, you know, lose control. You know, I needed that break. And when I became a mom, there was no escaping that, you know? And so that was, so I think people see my life, and my husband's a doctor. I have beautiful kids, like they're gorgeous.
How many kids do you have?
I have 2 kids.
Okay.
I have a 16-year-old boy. So when you were like post, I'm like, now his friends are looking at my Instagram, and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
you
my
see?
God, like
You see?
like
No, that's a big deal.
Yeah,
Right?
I
it
can't
is.
really,
Like, Mom, like,
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm trying to like,
I'm telling you.
I'm trying to embrace wearing like a Brazilian bathing suit, and then I'm like, oh shit, like,
Yeah.
but
that's such a dilemma.
But
telling
like
you.
working, you know, being a business owner and being in yoga, I could talk forever about it, but it's called Rajasic. That's like the personality type that's like very action moving forward. You know, to be a mom, it's all Tamasic, which is like the person that sits and watch the sunrise. And being a mom, there's a lot of that, you know, and I couldn't do that with my son. Like I was like, what am I supposed to do with you? And I couldn't like, you know, soften into it. So I think it was easy for me to do the masculine. Like I wanted to work, you know, but my husband was the breadwinner. So I had to stay home and take care of my son and then figure that just out. And it was really tough. And so I think I would want the world to know that my kids are awesome, and my son works for me at Ahana on Sundays. You know, my daughter sings kirtan, and so it looks one way. You know, my husband started singing kirtan with us, but for 12 years he wouldn't sing. You know, like, and so it's like there's so much that happens in the life of somebody that is married with 2 kids, and you're the one in the spotlight, and your family does not want to be. You know, so it's like, how much are you going? You know, messy is in my hair. A messy is in, but it's like you don't want to be exposing your family. Yeah. You know,
No, for sure.
like
Yeah.
all that.
No, there's a fine line between
like
that.
Google came to my house, and I was like, sure, you could film us. They'll be like, we're here at 7 a.m. They came with like freaking massive like video cameras.
Oh God.
And I was like, I'm gonna divorce me. I was like, oh shit. You know, like, so it's like that dance of being like, my personality is like, you know, and that being magnetic. Like you guys said, thank you so much. I don't realize that myself, but it's like, how do you balance that with, in Miami, everybody knows me, to go out to dinner with my husband, and my husband is like, what about you're with me? And somebody's like, oh, Dawn, you know, I saw you, and I'm like, oh my God, no. And I like, really,
my wife just laughs
I want
everywhere we go. It's like, yo, no, they don't. My wife's like, oh my God, can we not go anywhere with you?
So I like couldn't, like, I had to cancel my membership at the Soho House because it became like too much. So I think
Soho House, sorry.
Yeah.
like it just,
We're still a member, so love Soho House.
Like that. I'm not like victimized, and I don't feel like a victim of it at all. But it's like they're the
juggling.
They're juggling, and there's stuff that happens behind the picket fence that, like, my trajectory was not to be like in the nuclear family mom, you know, and that struggle of like fitting into that conservative lifestyle was like putting on a fucking tight ass shoe, you know, like I could have been in a circus, you know, and been like, this is comfortable, you know? So it's like it looks really nice on the outside, but I have had to do a lot of work to make it work.
Which is like admirable too.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank you. My trajectory would be dead pretty much right now. And so I feel people see me like from the outside, and they think it's like locked in, you know, and it's constant work for me to lock it in.
Well, I think that's the ridiculousness of Instagram and social media is that everybody does, again, they see what we want them to see. They see the highlight reel, so they don't see the nights where the 1-year-old is screaming until 3 a.m. and then you have to be up at 4, and like because you're not sharing it because you don't want to share that stuff. And
well,
so,
I'm like, my struggle
I mean?
is like, what do I cook for dinner? And I'm like, I'm seriously, my husband's like expects dinner, right? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, really? Like I can't make anything. I don't know how to make anything. I grew up with a single dad. We had takeout. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what to make. And I'm like, I get a panic attack. I'm like, oh my God, it's 5:30. I have $2,000 in Uber Eats, and we're all sodium intake like this. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, what am I going to be on Instagram? Oh my God, what should I cook tonight? Like, I don't know. These people don't want to hear that shit.
You think.
No, but actually, what you just did.
And the process.
You think they don't want to hear
what she just did would literally go viral.
You know why? Because it's
there
relatable.
Is so many women, like my wife would absolutely love what you just said. Because she is probably dealing with the same thing, which by the way, I could care less if she cooks or not. I don't put pressure on her like that. But I do know that she feels that way.
Of course.
I do know that she wants, when I come home, to have a nice meal because that's nice thing to do. Like, and she's a wonderfully nice person.
Correct.
Like, and so are you. So it's not that you don't want to. You're just like, oh my God, how? Like, you know, what am I going to do? Because I didn't know. And, you know.
Yeah, I'm like immobilized.
But I think there's I think what we have to realize is that, again, it goes back to there's an audience out there for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, so the people that look at it, and we'll use cringe because we use that, and look at it and cringe at you, who gives a shit? They're not your audience. They're not your tribe anyways. But the people that celebrate you and say, oh my God, girl, like oh my God, that was me tonight, you know, and they start to like, and you start to get a little like, oh, well, what did you cook? And then there's like, all of a sudden you're building relationships with strangers that become friends.
Now you're relating to something.
Because that's what community is. It's connecting with the things that we go through.
Correct.
I'll give it a shot.
So
yeah. In a world where we need more connection.
Yes. Well, ladies, thank y'all. This was awesome.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Yeah.